Welcome everybody to another informational episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, today we're going to be talking about top 10 ego-crushing situations in prison. Just the other day we did a live stream speaking about the complete opposite. Ego boosters. Situations that will make you feel high and mighty and better than the next man. But it usually always gets you tricked up. If you want to run that stream back, I'll leave it linked in the description of the video. But like I said, today is going to be the complete opposite. These are some of the situations I've personally seen in prison where people's mentality completely changes. From being the rah-rah jokester, laughing and kidding with everybody, to a quiet, humbled, sitting in their cell not doing much of anything after situations like these take place. So let's get right into it. If you enjoy this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Now first, before we get into the list, top 10 ego-crushing situations in prison. What do y'all think about the new recording environment? I told y'all I was moving and I finally did. Maybe I'll show y'all a video of like the behind the scenes of everything. It's pretty nice in here. I like it because it's closed in and I got more of a, I don't know how to explain it, cozy feel. Last room, I just felt like it was too big. It wasn't nothing too eclectic about it, if that's the right word, right? I feel much more cozy and collectible in here. Also, the white chair, I know y'all are probably asking about that. I had to get rid of the last one, man. That O'Neill chair, it was breaking my lower lumbar. But this was Brittany's old one, and I took a little seat in it, and I was like, wow, this feels good, right? So I'm riding out with it for the time being. She don't use it anymore anyway. She's been sitting up here in storage for the most part. And one last thing I promise before we get into the list. Look, if the audio sounds a bit off, it's because I haven't fixed it right just yet. It might be, alright? I'm still trying to get used to the closed-in quarters and fixing all the filters just right. Either way, I'm loving it, and I'm loving the new setup, so let's get right into it. Top 10 ego-crushing situations in prison. Number 1, and this one, it can happen to anybody. Death of a family member. Or loved one, doesn't have to be family, just someone that you felt very close to. Usually when something like that happens, you know it's coming. Because they call you out and you see the pastor. You're like, man, I ain't been to church in 15 years. Why is he here? It's because those guys are the bearers of bad news in prison, unfortunately. And I know the majority of y'all probably lost a loved one, pet, or whatever, and know the pain. It's going to completely change the aura of that person. I've seen guys that were having a good time considering their circumstances, laughing, joking, playing, and they hear those news and they're just not the same for at least a week. But that's why it's number 1, because it happens quite a bit, but you can bounce back. It ain't one of those ego-crushing situations where you're going to say, man, I got to get off this prison because I can't live here no more, right? And that's pretty much the majority of the rest of the list. These type of situations coming your way, man. Either if you don't do something about it in prison, chances are, man, it's going to just keep on continually crushing that ego. You ain't going to be able to live in there, man. You can be stuck in a little corner. So number 1, death of a family member. It will absolutely crush your ego for a short period of time. Now, number 2, this one's not too serious either, but it can really, really break you down, especially if you're looking forward to it. Mail call, ladies and gentlemen. It feels good. I'm trying to tell you, if you got any loved ones locked up, send them some mail. No better feeling than getting your last name screamed across the pod or dorm, whatever, for a piece of beautifully scented lipstick printed mail. Ladies, do it for him. Even if you're doing them dirty on the street, still send him a letter with some lipstick and perfume. He'll forgive you. Or he'll never find out. Either way, win-win for you, right? Now, if you ain't got no girlfriend or anything like that on the streets and you're not getting that much mail, then it ain't really important to you. But if you got a wife, a serious girlfriend with kids, and they ain't never sending you nothing, no kind of I love yous and can't wait to see you when you get homes, it will break you down and you're going to be paranoid for the rest of your bid. What the hell is my old lady doing out there? She don't never support me. I'm seeing all these other guys getting love letters every single day by the same girl. Why can't my girl do that? Right? And I can guarantee at least 20% of the conversations in prison with their old lady is something along those lines. Why ain't you looking out for me like a homeboy's girl is? So number 2, ego-crushing situation, even though it's not that traumatic, is not getting no mail. Makes you really feel unloved, man. Make you turn into a different kind of person. A lot of people turn into some vicious like animals, man, if they ain't got no kind of support out there in the streets. Number 3, bad paperwork. Now, I know a lot of states, they do check paperwork and it prevents stuff like this from happening, but from what I've seen in Virginia and what I'm still hearing from inmates that's locked up is they do not check paperwork unless they're suspicious of someone. And a lot of guys, they'll fly under the radar, get comfortable. Nobody's noticed for a few years. Next thing you know, a little birdie knows more than the next man. Spreads the word that they know some of the things that you've been doing out there in them streets. People find out, guess what? You ain't as popular and charismatic as you once were. Your ego just got stomped into the ground. Now you're trying to figure out how you're going to survive this situation. No good, man. Snitching, sex crimes, it doesn't matter who you are. If the right person finds out and spreads word, it's going to be a guaranteed ego-crushing look behind your back situation. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting from weakest to most extreme. Alright, but number 4 to me is no canteen. Believe it or not, man, if you ain't got no commissary, canteen, whatever you want to call it. Zoom zooms, wham whams, ramens, honey buns. If you're completely flat broke, especially if you used to get money, and the person that sends you the money stops, a lot of individuals' egos, man, they completely change if they ain't got no money. Y'all know how it is, man. I'm sure y'all been around people on the streets that ain't never had money. Tax return comes, man, they're sipping their coffee with their pinky out. Brand new outfits and new you. That's how it goes, man. Money make you feel real good. Top of the world. And if you're hustling in prison or something, making a bunch of money, man, and then it happens to go somewhere, trust me, I promise you, their whole mood's gonna change. So no commissary, no money is number 4. It will break your ego down. Now, moving on to number 5, and that is getting stabbed, getting shanked, getting hit with a lock and a sock, anything, man, along the lines of a weapon in a fight. A lot of guys, they don't know how to deal with this. All they know is about throwing fists, and they probably have never lost a fight until they got in front of someone with a weapon. Stab them up a few times, it's a different ball game. Now I can guarantee homeboy's ego is going to be dropped down a little bit when it comes down to the next altercation. Because he's felt something he's never felt before. A blade scraping a bone or something, right? He don't want to feel that again. And then if it was someone that he probably never expected it to come from, a little guy, man, right? Probably not even a part of an organization. He'll remember that too the next time he tries to deal with anybody. So number 5, getting stabbed will definitely bring you down a notch or two. Now next up, number 6, believe it or not, this could be worse than actually getting stabbed. Rumors, alright? Rumors. You're hearing it from everyone that you're about to get got. But all your people are saying, man, that's bullcrap, don't believe them. When really your own people are plotting to remove you. Right? The anticipation, anxiety, stress will kill you. Especially in prison, you don't know where it's going to be coming from. You're watching your back on every single turn. Shower time, chow hall, it doesn't matter, man. When the word or green light is lit, yeah, trust me, I've seen it. Them dudes' egos, man, they become quiet as church mouses. And you know, I was just watching from the sidelines, man. I can't even imagine actually being in these guys' shoes. So number 6, rumors that you're about to get got. Number 7, ego-crushing situation is getting robbed. Now look, I've gotten robbed in jail, right? It was just one time, it was some brownies, and someone walked in the cell, took a few and left. No one knew who did it. But it never happened again after the situation was addressed. Chances are, if you're new to jail, you ain't never been in a mix like I was, someone might try to take some of your candy and snacks. Sometimes you got like 10 cellmates in there, and one of them might not really like you, and he was a thief on the streets. Why not take a couple of the dude's brownies? But if it continually happens, you can't even buy canteen without someone waiting at the door to take it from you. That's gonna crush your ego, man. You might have been chilling in jail, but now it's prison time. It's a totally different ball game now, man, especially in like reception or something before you get to your main compound. Those guys in there, man, are animals. They know they're not going to be there that long, so they're going to try to get over on anybody and everything as much as they can. But if you get robbed and you do something about it, you find out who did it, and you try to defend yourself, might square up with them or whatever, that ain't going to be so much of an ego crusher because you did something about it. You stood up for yourself. And you'll probably gain quite a bit more respect than you might think, even if you lose. But at the same time, you know, you're running the risk of one of those guys dumping you on your cranium, cracking you in the side of the head harder than you ever been hit. You don't even know if everything up here is still intact anymore after that hit. Also, you could get knocked out. Guess what? This ain't UFC. You think a referee's going to stop the person? Nope. That's probably one of the scariest things I've seen in prison and changed my whole outlook on fighting. Someone got knocked out, dude got on top of him and didn't stop, beating him like he's tenderizing a steak. But he's knocked out, and by the time he wakes up, if he wakes up, he's going to look in the mirror and say, who the hell is that? Unrecognizable. But number 7, once again, getting robbed. Continuously. and not standing up for yourself, man. Your ego, man, you ain't gonna be nothing in that prison. Now, number 8, this one will definitely break your ego down to the core. I've seen guys, man, they were laughing at the card table, man, having a great time. Next thing you know, they get smacked with some baby powder or just smacked with plain skin. They didn't see that coming, man. And their whole facial expression, mentality, and ego goes straight out the window down the freeway. The next day, they ain't gonna be playing cards anymore. They're probably checked out in the middle of the night. Because you can't live in a pod after getting slapped and not doing nothing about it. And people are probably like, man, I don't give a damn how big they are. If they slap me, I'm standing up for myself. No, you won't. There's guys in there that would literally squeeze your head off your shoulders. They'll break your spinal cord just by hugging you. I mean, literally, some of these guys are so massive that if a little guy were to punch them, it'd bounce right off them like titanium, man. Bulletproof. I promise, unless you're like Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris hybrid put together mixed with Cyborg, even then, some of these monsters in prison, man, you ain't got a chance. Always remember, there is no referees, and chances are the inmates are going to step over your body, not help you get up. But number 8 is definitely a powerful ego crusher, getting slapped. Now, number 9, alright, this will definitely break down the most gangster of them all. You find out that your old lady is cheating on you. It happens all the time. They'll call home, maybe it's a family member, mom, dad, brother, cousin, sister. Yeah, I seen your girl at the movies with homeboy, and his hand was on her thighs the whole time, man. I'm not even playing. You need to give her a call and ask her about it. That type of situation right there will make an inmate lose their appetite and ego at the same time. A lot of people, they can't take it. They're just the thoughts of what's going on with their old lady, getting their back blown out possibly on the streets. The love of your life that you thought was going to be completely 100% faithful to you until you got out. Turns out she couldn't wait those 15 years, bro. She went to old Jody reversible sling starter coat, taking her to movies, sushi. Oh, man. Ego's going right out the window, man. Interstate status. But you can bounce back from that one, trust and believe. Last but not least, number 10 ego-crushing situation in prison. Getting your cheeks taken. Man, oh man, if that happens to you, you better hop on that phone and hit up that hotline, man. Tell them you've been taken advantage of. And even though it sounds like a joke, a lot of states, I'm here to tell you, it's still happening every single day. See, inmates, if they hear that something like that's happening to you, they might feel sorry, man, you know, want to help, but chances are they're probably not. And then you're going to have inmates that's going to be joking you during this whole situation. They don't care that you're being taken advantage of and you're terrified for your life. And that's usually how it goes, you know, just like Shawshank Redemption, man. We're going to kill you, shove this up in you if you don't open up. And some little guy in the cell sitting on their bunk can't leave the cell because some big dude with the ice pick standing in the door. What do you think he's going to do? Die? No, a lot of people, man, survival of the fittest. Drop, squat, and cough, just like the COs like you to do. Unfortunately, and you know, some people, they eventually start embracing that lifestyle. Believe it or not, they really do, man. Some guys will start slapping on skin-tight jeans and lipstick. Sometimes they'll check in, tell on the guy, get the hell out of there. But some prisons, they really can't do that, man. The COs, they don't care. They ain't gonna come get you. And as soon as dude sees that you're trying to leave, oh man, it's gonna be bad. So last but not least, ego-crushing situation in prison. Getting your cheeks taken. That'd be absolutely 100% non-returnable. But that is the top 10 ego-crushing situations in prison, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know anybody who's been locked up if you concur. Also, I would love to hear your input about how the setup is right now. I know I like it, but I want y'all to like it as well. If it's a little too much going on, stuff drawing your attention from me, let me know, and I'll try to change it up, you know, move things around just a little bit. In the meantime, though, as always, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I got plenty more content coming your way. The next video, I think, is going to be a reaction to an old school prison documentary coming from New York. Whirlpool, I don't know how to pronounce it. Either way, it looks pretty good. Even though it's a little older, it doesn't matter. We've done quite a bit of those on this channel, so be on the lookout for that. But as always, until the next time, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.